Queens get the money. Queens get the money. Queens get the money. Queens get the money, yeah. I'ma knock it out the park with this one. I'ma knock it out the park with this one, yeah. I'ma knock it out the park with this one. Queens get the money. Queens get the money.
Welcome to Queens Get the Money. I am Barry Grant Jr. We have Silent Assassin in the building. How you doing?
Good. I was just like, actually, as that intro went through, I just counted how many players either suck or not on the team right now, and it's about just Soto and Lindor are the only two that really make sense to be an intro right now. But
that intro is a graveyard of Met players for this season.
Yeah.
Tom, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. The Mets just won.
Did they?
Game over. Yeah, they closed it out against the Royals.
Nice. I saw that AJ Ewing hit a home run. That kid is so good.
He is. Oh my God, he is so good. Like that was the one thing that I understand Met fans are salty with the whole season, and I get that. But the people that were chanting for Brandon Nimmo last night, I loved Brandon Nimmo, but that is not the guy to be cheering for because the Mets outfield is about to be insane. I miss the person. Like I liked Brandon Nimmo a lot. And
Armand said R.I.P. the intro.
Yeah.
Armand, come on, be nice, man. Be nice. Okay?
It was good. It's well put together.
So I would like to tell my story of yesterday because I was at the game. Okay. I had said that I was not going to go to any other games until Saturday when my lovely fiance wants to go to the Mets game to punish herself for her birthday. I don't know why she wanted to do that, but I obliged. I gave her what she wanted. Okay. And lo and behold, my friend calls me. Oh, hey, got these tickets. Can you go? I'm like, I got time now. It's not like I got anything to do outside of taking care of the boy. But I was like, yeah, sure. Go to the game. Had a good time. It was raining out there. I didn't really like that. You know what I mean? I didn't like the drizzle. I don't like being in stadiums or arenas or a stadium because there's a dome and arena. But stadiums where it's like drizzling, I get very uncomfortable. I don't like that, right? Plus I had a good hat on. I didn't like it. But game started. AJ Ewing gets a home run. Soto hits a bomb. I am having a good time. We high-fiving. And here comes the Silent Assassin with her jinx self. She goes ahead and texts and says, oh, you should go more often. You know, Mets are looking good. And at this point, it was 9-4. And I said, man, who knows? Maybe they'll catch lightning in a bottle and win 10 games in a row. And Tom was like, you know what? You're sounding like me. Very positive. I love it. Keep going, kid. We love it. And in comes Austin Warren, and that's the game.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
I've never seen a beating happen that quickly. That fifth inning lasted like 45 minutes. It was long as hell. I felt bad for him. So
yeah, it was like rough. The next three innings because the new guy, whoever pronounced his name, pitched 2 innings.
Steelander. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Get Zoolander the hell out of here. Okay.
But just complete like blow up. But I mean, the game was still at the end relatively close. It was 16-13 or something like that.
Listen, shouts to Brett Beatty. He missed 2 home runs.
Yeah.
2 home runs. He was a little late on both of those. Man, if he would have connected, the place would have went nuts. Because when he hit the bomb in I think it was the 8th, that would have cut the game to the lead to 1 because he had 2 guys on. So if he would have hit that 3-run bomb, that place would have went nuts. But it didn't happen. You know, he missed 2 home runs. I felt bad for him, but you know that was the type of night that it was, honestly.
Senga did suck too, Armand, but I mean that's just, death taxes. Senga can't pitch.
Correct.
You know what I mean? 3 certainties in life. But no, man, I was like, when you said that 10-game winning streak thing, I was like, wow, man, I can't believe the vibes are that good at Citi Field right now, because that
Yo, it was a party, man. It was
like
hot.
that. I was like, holy crap, the stadium is that intoxicating. But yeah, that was it was weird. Like I didn't know how to feel. Like I was absolutely bummed that they lost. I was like, wow, it was cool that they I guess when you're in a lost season, when you're just watching 2 teams battle it out offensively, like it doesn't hurt like as bad. Like if this was like in the middle of a race for the wild card or a race for the division towards as we get closer to the All-Star break, that might have hurt a little bit more. But I was just happy to see that that pimp job out of AJ Ewing was just amazing. Like I am if I take anything away from this season, I am so excited to see Soto, Ewing, and Benj in the outfield going forward. I think it was SNY Mets had them, like Soto's got a 967 OPS, Ewing's got 796, and Benj has got 787. Like those are some, like Benj and Ewing have been just it's the highlight of the season. It's the reason to watch every week.
They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. They're fun to watch. They're great. They play great defense. I love the fact that AJ Ewing, his favorite player growing up was Joey Votto. You know the type of player that he is. Joey Votto was a very patient guy, amazing plate discipline, amazing eye at the plate. Let the game come to him, never forced anything. And that guy is, he's not a Hall of Famer yet, but I'm sure he's gonna be. He'll have a shot. He'll have a shot. You know what I mean? So for AJ Ewing to actually have that guy as his favorite player, we have a good one on our hands, people. We really do. We really do. And it's not common that we can say that about our prospects, but these 2 guys, man, sky's the limit for both of them. I was telling Alfred yesterday, and shouts to Alfred. Check out the Metropolitan Report that once Ben starts to put on weight, the power is really gonna come.
Yeah,
power is really gonna come because he's skinny right now, wiry. But once he bulks up, this guy has 30 home run power in his future. He really does.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really, really hope so. He's not going to be playing a demanding position. Like right field's not too crazy.
No. So he can be able to be there for the next 15 years, no problem. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Depending on what baseball looks like after next year. But that's again.
Come up, not with the negativity. Okay?
No negativity. No negativity. That's the thing. That's what you have to do in Mets lost seasons. You got to find the silver linings, and you got to find the folk heroes. You got to find the reasons to be entertained still by baseball. And that it's just going to be these young kids. I'm watching another replay of Ewing's home run again tonight. It's going to be amazing. I'll still watch every single game knowing that nothing's getting turned around. But I mean, if I get to watch these kids perform at a high level every day, absolutely.
Listen, you can't ask for anything else, honestly. You can't ask for anything else.
Still salty they've ruined the Spider-Man
100%
celebration though.
100%.
That should be for next year when we're contending.
They have absolutely ruined it for me, but it's fine. It's fine. When the kids do it, I'm happy. Any takeaways from you guys? What do we want to talk about tonight? Because for everybody that's in here, the title of the thumbnail, you saw it. The thumbnail says self-inflicted disaster. We were having a very very opinionated conversation before we went live, and this was definitely avoidable. Now, granted, hindsight, like Tom said off pod, is 20/20. Of course, you're not going to. Nobody ever saw this particular disaster coming. But there were signs, right? There were signs that it could have possibly happened, because when you're taking risk on guys that have a injury history, this is what you can be able to have at the same time. You need to, in a baseball season, there's ebbs and flows, obviously. Guys get hurt. Guys come back, but you also need to have a little bit of luck where guys can be able to have, you can have a long stretch of good health on your baseball team to be able to start getting consistent play out of your baseball team. When guys are going in and out of the lineup, it's very hard to maintain any type of synergy.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been battling that since day one. You know what I mean? So it makes sense that this team has not found its footing because they've been hurt all effing year. So can we blame David Stearns for that? No, not really. Obviously, he's not to blame for injuries, but can you blame him for the construction and his approach of how he viewed this team, how he tried to design this team? 1,000% you can be able to blame him for that. And that's why the blame is going to fall on his shoulders. Where I was sitting yesterday, I can turn to my right and I can see David Stearns in the booth, in the suite, chuckling it up. And the anger that came over me, it was profound. I was like, this son of a is in there giggling, laughing it up while we are watching a car crash in front of us. It's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. This may go down. I'm saying it right now. I'm putting my hand up. It's the worst Met team I've ever seen in my life. And the reason why is because of the payroll and because that there were playoff expectations and aspirations. That's why I say it's the worst. That's why. We've had teams that have no talent. You never expected anything out of those teams. This was completely different. It's the worst season in my Met fandom. 100%. Cole?
I agree. Like, I think now they're ahead of the Royals, but I think one other team, so they're probably the third worst team now in all of baseball.
Yeah.
With the, top payrolls. One of the top payrolls in baseball just doesn't make sense just at all. And something that we continue to get kind of made fun of and people kind of like to talk about is run prevention. Yet you sign about a bunch of people that never played certain positions before that just kind of like, okay, like if this was the reason, one of the main reasons why you let Pete Alonso go, because of his defense and then like you just mentioned, he's the best first baseman in all of baseball right now. And also too, like it's been a minute since I looked, but probably maybe 2 weeks ago, I was like, let me see, like actually compared to all of the Mets first base options that they've had this year compared to Pete Alonso, like runs produced, like Pete Alonso had something like 10 to 15 more than all of the Mets first basemen combined. And I'm not saying like that's going to put the Mets in first place, but that definitely does change a lot of the Mets' view, at least in the wild card standings. I think like tack on a couple more games and they're not as worse position, and obviously they are now. Say like even because you look back and how many like 1-run games have they lost, how many shutout games have they lost, and even though the other team only scored 1-2 runs, like that's a difference maker. Again, like not saying that they're going to be a completely different team, but I feel like in the standings for the wild card, there's definitely better positioning and something I'm more comfortable with going into July. Well, now being in July and at the end of the month, like looking at the trade deadline, I'm like, okay, like we could be in a better positioning where we still do have playoff hopes. I mean, now that's pretty much the Mets are probably in like a 1%, if 2%, whatever those chances are. So
if anybody has the Mets at 1%, they're crazy.
Yeah,
like they shouldn't even have a percentage.
Yeah, negative 0.08%, whatever.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Like
the 3% chance that they're gonna make.
3%? Okay.
Yeah.
They're playing with us now. They're just toying with the fans at that point.
Yeah.
It's just like rough to see like for me, I guess like I gotten over like the whole kind of restructuring of the team, but yeah. I feel like deep down I'm never gonna get over the Pete Alonso thing because it just made too much sense.
Oh no, you'll never get over that. You'll never. And listen, I am not going to be one of those people to tell Met fans that they need to get over that, right? Like, listen, I'm still not over Jacob deGrom leaving. Still not over it. Like I am still not over Jose Reyes leaving. He came back, right? But there was no reason for him to leave. And if you knew he was going to leave, you should have traded him to get some value for him. And we never did that. You just let him walk out the door for nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So there's plenty of history here with this franchise that we will never forget certain missteps that they've made. And for a guy to just like, I can understand if you've been on the job with this team for 10 years, right? Like Brian Cashman's been with the Yankees for a while. He has developed goodwill within the organization to have a couple of misfires here and there, right? But when you just come on the scene and you tear things down and you say to the owner, hey, I got a plan here, and the owner trusts you to just run baseball because he's not a baseball guy, right? He put you in charge to do everything, right? Oh, I have a plan to get rid of Pete Alonso, and we are going to be better for it. You know what Steve Cohen is going to tell you? Okay, I'd love to see it. And your plan was, hey, we got rid of our all-time home run leader. You know what we're going to put there? We're just going to put a whole bunch of guys that can be able to just hit. Like, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to have guys that can be able to hit the baseball a lot, be consistent. It doesn't really matter if they can really play the position as long as we got guys that can be able to just hit. If you said that to somebody 15 or 20 years ago, they would have fired you on the spot. Because that's stupid. You're literally trying to recreate baseball. There's a reason why we have positions, right? There's a reason why we have positions. That's like me, like a basketball reference, right? That's like me having a void at point guard. And I take a big center because I seen him practice and handle the ball in practice and say, oh, you can be able to be a point guard. You have some handling skills. You can dribble the basketball. You know what comes with being a point guard? Decision making, knowing how to be able to play the position, knowing how to set people up. Just playing first base is a lot more than just putting a body there and hope that he can be able to stab at the ball. Like Pete Alonso, as bad as he was, he still played first base his whole fucking life. He understands the position. He understands positioning. He understands all of these things. So as much as David Stearns wanted to criticize his play and didn't want to pay him because he's aging and all that stuff, cool. You can be able to convince me as a fan. If you want to move on from Pete, cool. But we've talked about this ad nauseum in the show, and I'm going to mention it again. You scouted Murakami more than any fucking president or GM in baseball, yet you didn't sign him. No Met fan right now would be mad if you would have pivoted from Pete to Murakami. They would still miss Pete, right? Because that's their guy. He's a homegrown guy. They love Pete, but they wouldn't be mad. There's the difference. And that's the problem that's the problem that I have, is that if you wanted to move on from anybody that you fucking want to. But when your plan looks like this, you look like a complete fucking moron.
Yeah. I think my concern is not even necessarily having the guy. I think it's mostly health is my issue, that we were going to rely on a lot of guys that don't play baseball. Like if you were to tell me that we're getting somebody that can hit and is going to learn first base. Yeah. My next thing is, okay, well, how many games does he play? Because if it's Jorge Polanco, who historically doesn't play a lot of games, right? That's where I'm going to have a concern, because I figure they're major leaguers. They'll figure it out. I think they'll be like, it's not the first time that we're trying to transition somebody to go play first base and has never played the position before. That's happened and it's worked well. My problem is that Jorge Polanco just doesn't play. Right. And a lot of this season, a lot of what happened this year really makes me think back to what we talked about in the offseason when this breakdown was happening. I think Stearns was caught off guard and a little, I don't want to say mad, but felt some type of way about them getting as far as they did in 2024. I think they got as far as they did in 2024, and it didn't necessarily allow him to go in and make sweeping changes or make changes to the team. He was like, okay, I got to run some of this back, and that fell on his face. And now he's like, okay, now I'm going to build the team in my image. You know, so he was like.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that he had designs to tear this thing down in 24, but them going on that run.
Yeah, no, he had designs of tearing this thing down, of cutting off the fat of this team
in 25.
In 25, expecting that this was just going to be an evaluation year to see what we had on the team, and then I can figure out where I'm going to cut and make my moves. But then that team won, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I got to run some of this back, and they ran some of that back, and it just fell to pieces. And now this year, he's like, well, Pete's coming off the books. I'm just gonna fast track my idea of what a contending baseball team is going to be, and the plan went to pieces. That's kind of how I feel, because we knew that David Stearns didn't like Pete Alonso back when Pete Alonso was on the trade block,
and he didn't want him. Yeah,
and he didn't want him then when the Brewers were contending. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think this is just a David Stearns. This is absolutely just a David Stearns mess and a David Stearns miscue, because he did, like, I keep hearing it. I've heard it all week. He did too much too fast in this offseason. I think
when have you ever seen
Trevor
a team?
May.
Yeah. When have you ever seen a team overhaul the entire coaching staff and then overhaul the entire roster as well?
Mm-hmm. Like that lineup was almost night and day different. Like Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien, over the hill Marcus Semien, Jorge Polanco, Luis Robert Jr. Like, we were relying on a lot of guys that had never been here before. We don't know if they could play in New York. And oh, by the way, half those guys don't play baseball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we were all here for the Lou Bob rumors for a couple of years. I didn't want him. I never wanted him. The guy doesn't play baseball. Like,
and I remember, like, you know, I convinced myself, just because, hey, he's still young, like, you know, you try to put your hopes into a guy being able to stay healthy, but man, like, sometimes when the medicals show you what the medicals show you, you have to look at the medicals. You have to trust, because think about it, we went ahead and trusted the medicals with Carlos Correa, right? That's why he's not here, because we trusted our medical team and said this is not a good long-term investment. But that wasn't David Stearns. That was somebody else.
He didn't invest long-term in a lot of these guys. Like, they're only here for a little bit.
So it's like, listen, man, my biggest concern is, and I'm gonna let Nicole say what her piece before I go in. So, like, you know, what are your thoughts about what we're talking about right here, Nicole, and what Tom said in regards to Stearns? Because, like, I see what Tom is saying, that because they went on that magical run, it kind of kiboshed his plan of like ripping it down in 25.
Yeah, I can see that, because you know, that really wasn't even his team. He was kind of handed that team from Billy Epler.
Yeah.
For the most part. So I can see, like, okay, I'm starting a new job. Like, I want to have my own players, my own coaching staff, whatever. To kind of, this is now my team to run, so I want everyone, well, pretty much everyone, to be my pickings. But yeah, I agree. Like, I'm kind of looking back at it, I do, like, kind of see the sense of, like, okay, since this worked, let's run it back. I know, like, I feel like I've said before, like, I felt like Sean Manaea was kind of like a fan push to bring him back when he really shouldn't have been bought back.
Yeah.
Even kind of the Pete Alonso thing, like, I never want him to be gone, but if there was a better year to have him be gone, it was after 2024. But then he had that home run moment. It's like,
right.
Okay, like, I can't get rid of this guy because the fans would kill me. And then he did make those tough decisions, like with the fans wanted, obviously, Iglesias back. But, you know, he was obviously a declining player. He's a great locker room guy, but he's not a great player anymore.
Right.
On the field. So he did make some of those harder decisions, even though I feel like they shouldn't have been hard. It's just, okay, you kind of got to cut the loss here. And then going to 2025, where it's like, okay, I brought back certain players that I feel like I didn't really want to bring back, but I brought back for the fans. It didn't work out. I'm going to do it fully my way and kind of restructure this whole team. But that just doesn't, it's just a culture shock to everybody, because players, like, you know, want stability. They want kind of similarities, you know, at some point, like with the coaching staff or with players on the team. Like, players don't want to see new faces every single year through the whole organization. The Mets have kind of had that for the past few years, where there's new leadership, there's new people, new like kind of roster constructions. The only person we've had since 2021 has been Lindor at this point.
Yeah.
He's the only guy that's been on the team.
He's
for the past
longest
couple years,
tenured Met. Yep.
Which is crazy. You know, after Peterson had left, got traded to the Cubs, but it's just like the Mets' identity is just very confusing under the Cohen tenure. Like, I'm not blaming Cohen, but I think I mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago, like, maybe he just doesn't really know the right person or know how to hire people to run, you know, this business.
And he said it business. Too. He said it in the interview, right? With
Joel Sherman and John Heyman.
John Heyman and Joel Sherman. Yeah, he was like, listen, I don't know baseball, right? He's like, I am starting to learn things and ask more questions because I want to know what's going on, right? Like, you don't have to give me I don't need to take a crash course in baseball 101, but at least give me an idea of what's happening so I understand what's going on, so I can be able to ask questions and see where you're headed, rather than just me giving you a position blindly and me not knowing what's going on. And then I have this shock to my system because we're getting such negative feedback from this. If I know exactly why we're doing things and why we came to this particular decision, then if I okay it, then I okay it, and I can be able to step in front of it and give everybody shield. But if I don't know, then you're on your own. You know what I mean? And that's not where you want to be. You don't want to be on an island by yourself in New York. You just don't want to be. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that he was so candid in that interview, because now we understand that, hey, listen, you know, this is a guy that really cares, but he doesn't really understand how this works. And maybe he does need to find somebody. Maybe he needs to bring in a consultant. Maybe he needs to have somebody that can be able to have his best interests. I have no idea. But something needs to happen where there's a little bit more organization in his front office, instead of just giving David Stearns the keys like that. I still am a firm believer that he might need to force him to hire a general manager.
Yeah, again, we've had this conversation before. I'm not convinced that you're not going to get yourself a general manager that's just going to end up being a David Stearns yes man anyway.
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm just hoping that, and what I've gotten from what I.
But why? But here's my question though. Before you finish, why does it have to be a Stearns hire?
Because I'd imagine that you'd want to have some kind of synergy between the two. Like, they're going to be working with each other most of the time. I don't necessarily know if you want somebody that's consistently butting heads. Like, I don't know if they're necessarily going to want to do. I mean, look, sometimes you need that. Like, sometimes maybe you need another strong opinion in there that's going to maybe be able to drive it home. Maybe two differing opinions is a good way to find like the middle ground. Maybe. Right. I just don't think baseball and sports really works like that anymore. I feel like you just try to get a cohesive group of people that are kind of all speaking the same message, and you just charge away. You know, but I also have to hope, like, Like, he's given us no reason necessarily to believe this, but I have to imagine that David Stearns, from what he said in these most recent press conferences, from the one he did on the last homestand, I believe, and the one that he did after Mendy got fired, that he looks like a guy that understands that he messed up. He looks like a guy that understands that he made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of his analysis that he's done over these last 2 years is going to have to get reworked. He's admitted it so much. So I guess, look, if this guy's not going to get fired, I have to imagine David Stearns, it was destiny that he was going to get the Met job, but he was a well-respected executive around baseball. I have to imagine that if he is this smart guy that we all think he is, he's smart enough to realize that he messed up and is going to change his process going forward next year. I have to imagine that that's the case.
Yeah.
You can't be that stupid. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, you know?
So let's see here. I'm going to pull something up because I like the fact that you said that. There's an article. Give me a second. Somebody talk so we don't have any dead air.
Oh man, I was just thinking. Damn, I just had something on the top of my head, and I just totally fucking lost it.
Okay, let's see here because I want to see. FBA top 20 sleeper.
I'm a little nervous. I just saw something that said the Mets farm system has fell to 24th.
That's what I'm gonna pull up. That's exactly what I'm pulling up right now. Okay, here it is. Let me go ahead and just pull this up here.
That's probably gonna change after the trade deadline.
This is insane, right? So yeah, we can be able to show that. So it says system weakness, offensive impact. The Mets have graduated Carson Bench and AJ, of course, and played a role, but the Mets haven't had hitters to take steps forward this year. We saw multiple occasions in 25. There's no age-appropriate Mets hitters in full season ball who is having a standout season. The entire system right now is bad. And if that's the case, we go from a top 5 system to now a bottom 5 system, bottom 6 system. There's concerns here because if David Stearns is supposed to be the guy that's supposed to revamp this and find the talent and be able to churn these guys out, this is not a good review or a good place where you should be in a situation like this 3 years in, especially if you haven't, because you got to remember we haven't overhauled the farm system, right? Like it's not like we went to go get Tarek Skubal and unloaded the cabinet, right? Like it's the same groceries that are there, but they just look worse than they did last year or 2 years ago.
Also, some of them are too young to be like really, like some of them are, I guess I would consider probably some of them are too far away to even consider them like real prospects that are going to affect the major league club soon. You know, David Stearns has only been here for a couple of years. Elian Pena's still a kid. I mean, we talked about a bunch of them with Ernest, and I'm blowing all the names, but they're all in like low A, you know what I mean? Like single A, you know, so. And again, but this is probably, I mean, look, as we get closer to the trade deadline, that's what's kind of interesting is I've been seeing a lot of conversations of the Mets like they want to contend next year. So they might use some of these trade assets to get guys. They're going to help them contend next year. But then do you want to do that and sacrifice maybe your ability to get some younger players to fill that farm system back up? Like, I don't know what the trade deadline looks like for the Mets because you obviously have to imagine that everybody not named Soto, Lindor, Benj, and Ewing is up for grabs. Well, everybody.
According to Mike Francesa, Lindor is going to get traded.
Yeah, but freaking what's his name? Ken Rosenthal already said I wouldn't really consider him an insider. He doesn't, you know, like, so I don't.
I wouldn't consider anybody that's anti-Mets a fucking insider.
Yeah.
Like we are the punchline for every team around baseball. And here's a rant. Here's a rant before we go on to the next topic. I am fucking sick of these people that want to go ahead and invest into the Mets soap opera. Name me one other fucking team around baseball that they talk about the dynamic between two fucking superstar players.
Well, it's because it's New York.
I don't give a shit. That's what I'm saying. It's that it's dumb because when Soto was with the Yankees, you didn't hear about this shit. You didn't hear about this shit.
Well, they were winning.
But that's what I'm saying. Winning cures all. I don't want to hear about this garbage anymore because it's a non-issue. There's reports out there that said that Lindor and Soto, they actually work out together. They talk to each other. You can tell that the relationship is a lot different than it was last year.
Got one for you.
Because it's a growing relationship. You have to learn sometimes how to be able to be around people.
I got one for you. I know an instance where we've heard two superstars on a team hating each other.
Yeah, go ahead.
Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez.
And how did that work?
They won.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that.
But even when they didn't win, what was it? Was it that big of a deal? No, it wasn't.
No, well, I mean, Yankee fans hated A-Rod for a while.
They talked about it a little bit, but it wasn't something that was like front page fucking news all the time.
Well, it's because they were making the playoffs regularly.
Well, yeah, listen, when is it gonna cure all? But it's just, to me, it's just fucking nonsense. It really is.
True, I agree.
Yeah, moving forward. Yes, the trade deadline. I mean, I think that the players that you named are untouchable. Everybody else should be on the table. I think that they should actually. Francisco and Alvarez, I think they should shop him. Shop him, see exactly what you can be able to get. He's still young, I understand.
Yeah.
But I would love for them to shop him to see what the actual value is around the league. Because you're not going to know how good a guy is unless you know exactly what the value is. You can put your own value on somebody, but everybody else needs to put a value on it and see what it is. I think the best, the player that has the highest premium at the deadline on our team is Luke Weaver. If you're going to trade Luke Weaver, you have to trade him for a high premium. If we want to keep him, but if you want him, you have to give up a lot of prospects. That's all I'm saying. You're going to have to give up 2 top 10 prospects to go get to get a Luke Weaver. That's the asking price. And if any team doesn't want to meet it, then great, we'll keep him. Because at the end of the day, he's a lights out reliever, right? AJ Minter, whatever you can get for him because he's a good player and he's on the last year of his deal. You need to move him. He cannot be on this roster after the deadline. I would say I was talking to Alfred last night. He was like, oh, maybe you shot Brazoban. I don't even think you should just because he's 36. He's going to retire a Met unless you don't want him, right? So, but if he's pitching, if somebody's asking for him, then cool, you go ahead and you listen. I'm not opposed to not trading the guy, but you need some guys that can be able to be under control, and Brazoban's under control. So why give him up unless you're getting a premium for him, right? So there's a lot of guys that who else? I think anybody in the bullpen is gettable except Weaver. Like if you can be able to find somebody to take Devin Williams' contract, please take him. Please take him. Like, you know what I mean? Another guy that I heard that's actually on the rehab. He's on the rehab road. My man, talk to him. Mike Talkman. Mike Talkman is here, right? He's coming back. If he can be able to show you something, you trade his ass too. Trade his ass too. Because you have to try to find ways to replenish the cabinet while you can still be competitive. Because I don't want to trade Bichette. I want to keep him. I believe that there's a chance that you can be able to work out a deal with Bichette. If we do have baseball, you can be able to lower the AAV, increase the years, and you can be able to have a good player on the control for a little bit. I don't hate Bichette. I think he's rebounded significantly well for me for me to know that he can be able to handle it here. You know what I mean? So everybody's on the table for me. Everybody's on the table. And I hope that David Stearns goes into this deadline super aggressive listening to everything, but not necessarily just trading a guy just to trade a guy. The guys that need to go, and the guys that have the high premiums, you put them out there, but you don't negotiate. This is what I want, and if you don't give me what I want, we're not moving them. Simple and plain. What do you think about that, Nicole?
Yeah, I agree. Like, you have to kind of get everything you can, especially the state of like the farm system. Just last year we had 5-6 players on the top 100 list. Now we have Jonah Tong. So I think that was obviously,
and I don't even know why he's still.
Yeah, he doesn't look too great this
Rubbish.
year. But that obviously is going to change your ranking in that. But from one of the top to now one of the lowest is kind of pretty concerning. And Steve Cohen had said that he's pretty concerned with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone's pretty much, on the block for me, except, the 3 rookies we have, McLean, Ewing, and Benjamin, and Soto and Lindor. I'm kind of just over everyone else. It's like either they've just got here or they've been here too long, and it's time to kind of move on.
And that's the thing too, right, Nicole? Like sometimes holding on to a recruit too long can screw you up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Bichette, like I don't know. I feel like disappointed because I obviously wanted him to work out really well, and for the past month or so, like he's hitting over 300.
Yeah.
Or the last couple weeks. So he's definitely turned it around. He has 50, close to 50 RBIs, which is pretty
50 on the dot. 50 on the dot.
Yeah, which is pretty. I know that's on pace for the half mark is coming, so on pace for 100.
Yeah.
Pushing 100. So that's pretty good for seemingly how bad he looked, early in the season. And I know like they kind of talked about the rumors that he's now opting out allegedly, which sucks if that is the case, but I would like to kind of work out a deal just because he is a very special player.
Yeah.
It just kind of took some time to kind of warm up. I know that he was pretty emotional during the Toronto trip. Kind of looked like he had some form of regret, but I think
it's just appreciation.
Yeah,
it's just like feelings. Like obviously you're in the World Series, and then you have high hopes coming here to New York to be a contender, and things haven't really gone the way you want to as a team and for the player, and then you're kind of back home. So I guess like emotions kind of flow, but everyone else for me is pretty like okay, just whatever you can kind of get for them. But I think Luke Weaver has been one of the best relievers in baseball. You have to get top dollar for him.
Yep.
If not, keep him because you can have him for next year.
Yeah. You don't budge in negotiations for Weaver.
Yeah.
If you don't give me what I want, then you can go fuck off.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to kind of see what the moves they make. I think that there's going to be a very different team come the end of the month.
Yeah.
Just because of standing wise, and like I said, it's either they're here 1 year or they've been here way too long. They overstayed their welcome. Beatty, Vientos. I really do like Alvarez, but I don't know. Maybe it just hasn't worked out. So but we'll see what happens. I'm excited.
I hope the Mets call every team around Major League Baseball and lead with this. We will double their salary and throw money on top of them just to take them. Well, we don't even want prospects. Can you just absorb the player? Because we don't want anything for him. We just want him gone.
Who specifically?
Both of them.
But who's both? But Vientos and Beatty.
Both of them. Exactly. Vientos and Beatty. Both of them.
Yeah.
Just absorb them into your organization. We don't even want low A players. We just want them gone.
Yeah. No, I've flip-flopped on my opinion of Francisco Alvarez only because like the catching situation around baseball it's not great.
Yeah.
So I think he's young enough and at a point where like I would rather keep him because he does still call a pretty good game. He got an RBI today. Like I
Defense
think I
is
would.
horrible though.
Yeah, I think I would rather stick with him than have to go into a year where now I have my it's just another added question mark to the roster. Other than that, I'm fire sailing everybody. I would, if I can. Teams can never have enough pitching. We've seen that in baseball. And the one thing that David Stearns did well, I guess, is build a half decent bullpen outside of what happened last night. So
Absolutely.
I would definitely, if you got to trade AJ Minter, definitely gone. I don't know what you're going to get for him because on the last year of his deal, but you could probably get
you're going to get something good for him. The fact that he's pitching really well.
Yeah.
He's still a very good reliever. Somebody can use him as a setup man, or you can even use him in a closer situation. Like he's a guy that can fetch you a good prospect or two.
Yeah, like assuming that the Mets aren't trying to do some crazy like shifting to be like, let's trade some of these players to bring in some major league ready talent that's going to help us next year. Unless that's the case, I see a lot of the players that are going to end up being sold off going to be guys that are going to replenish the farm system and get some young guys that are going to be ready maybe next year or the year after. Right. So I think that the minor leagues is going to look a little bit different. And the minor leagues took a big hit because a couple of their top prospects ended up being Benjamin Ewing, and we needed them this year. Exactly. Yeah, so I'm for the most part fire sailing everybody. I think you're still going to get a pretty good package for Peralta because I mean, like, who else is going to be available starting pitching wise next year? Clay Holmes. I heard Clay Holmes wants to stay.
Yeah,
Clay, if you're going to stay, you got to sign an
extension. Yep.
You got to work out that extension because that's the thing. I think the trade that's why I want to trade Bo. I wanted because Steve Cohen said when he was on that podcast that he's a little worried about 2027 because of the money they have allocated at all these different positions. Like
I think we're like $300 million already locked in.
So, like, I want to get some of this money off the books. Like, if you can trade Bo, okay, he's probably going to opt out anyway. Let Bo go chase another ring somewhere. Or chase our ring period because they didn't win it last year. Let him go do that. Great, good. If you really wanted to be here, we'll sign you in the offseason, maybe. But like whatever you can get for a lot of these guys, get as much as you can possible and retool the farm system a little bit just to give us some hope for the future.
Here's a question. Would anybody at this point take Marcus Semien?
For a bag of baseballs, maybe.
Mets have to pay the team.
Yeah, probably. We'd have to take on most of the contract, and you can't even trade him now because he's going to be out for a while with the injury.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think we're stuck with Marcus Semien for the rest of his deal, which is 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So it's this year and next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be 2 more years on top of this.
2 more.
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, let's hopefully make his life miserable so he retires. Maybe do that. I don't know.
Force him to retire?
Force him into retirement. Yeah, give him a gold watch and tell him your services are no longer needed.
Now, here's a question that I want to pose to you guys, just because they floated it out there. And, obviously we knocked down those rumors. But is there a scenario for either one of you, and I'm going to ask Nicole first, where you do trade Francisco Lindor, not at the deadline, but in the offseason?
For me personally,
yeah, for you, just for you,
I would rather trade Soto than see Lindor go.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. I have too much locked in. Like, even before Lindor came to the Mets, like, he was one of my favorite players. And, like, when he came to the Mets, I'm like, oh, my God, like, my favorite player is here.
Yeah, and that's like me and LeBron.
Yeah. It's just like, obviously, I don't want Soto to be traded. But if there was an option between the two, I would want to keep Lindor here, even though, granted, Soto is the better player. But it's just like, he is the New York Mets to me. Like, I see him as, like, obviously he's the face of the Mets. Some people might not see it that way. I see it that way.
Yeah.
He was going to be captain last year until changed.
Nimmo screwed it up. Thanks, guy.
But if those rumors do come to light, or there's definitely more heat around it, I would take a step back, I think, from the Mets for a while, just because it's just that would hurt. just to see Lindor go, just after everything he's kind of been through here, everything he's kind of put into the team, and just like how much fun. Like even he hasn't had that many. The Mets haven't had that many great seasons with him on the team, but he's always fun to watch, and like that's why I'm so happy to see him back now, just because the team feels different for me. Like to see Lindor back. I do have hopes in what Steve Cohen said that those two players, Lindor and Soto, are staying put. He better not be lying, or I'm gonna find a way to find a lawsuit in that.
Write a very angry letter to him.
Yeah, but I did see on today, like some fan or photographer was taking photos and they were smiling together on the field, running off the field together.
I'm telling you, like the relationship is different. It's different.
Yeah, I don't think it's that concerning. I think Soto is just a very laid-back person in general. He's not very reactive or emotional. So I don't really kind of see him kind of gung-ho with anyone. I know with the young players, he's definitely more interactive, but he's just a very chill, laid-back guy. Like, he's just there to play baseball. So I don't think there's really any significance in those rumors. And if they were to be true, then I would kind of take some steps back, I think. You won't see me on here. Be in the corner depressed. But, yeah, so... Yeah.
Okay. I don't disagree with a lot you said. Tom?
I just unless I'm not seeing something, I just don't see how trading Francisco Lindor makes the Mets better. Like what? Okay. Trade Lindor. What's your next option? If we're already talking about a farm system that's dropped down to 24 before the season, it was at 7. So if it's dropped to 24 from 7, who's coming to take that shortstop spot? Who's coming to give the offensive production that Francisco Lindor has given since he's been here? Who's coming to give the defense? He's had a few errors this year. He's looked a little shaky. Dude's also been hurt for a while. Who's putting up the numbers and putting up the defensive numbers that Francisco Lindor does day in and day out? I don't see many of them in free agency. I don't see you trading a bunch of your farm system to go get somebody better here because the farm system's already depleted. I don't know how trading Francisco Lindor helps you. Like outside of alleviating money off of the books, but I'd imagine at Lindor's age with 5 years left, you're probably going to have to eat some of that money. And if you don't eat some of that money, the return's not going to be good enough to make the trade warranted anyway, unless you're doing like a salary dump. So I just don't see a world in which trading Francisco Lindor makes the Mets a better baseball team. So no, I don't think he's going to get traded. And I do think if the Mets were winning, this relationship between Soto and Lindor wouldn't matter. It's just, unfortunately, the Mets aren't winning and they need stuff to write about. And you need to be able to blame something. You need to be able to blame something for things that you can't explain. And no, I don't think we live in a world where trading Lindor happens, or I don't think we live in a world where that's even just a good idea. Like, I want good baseball players on my baseball team. Like, and when healthy, he's a good baseball player.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a combination of both of what you guys said, right? Like, there's no baseball reason to trade Lindor because it just makes your team worse. Right? It's if you question the leadership on this team, then you're really leaving a void when you get rid of one of the best shortstops in baseball.
Yeah.
It's not like let's just be honest. Like, okay, everybody's in love with Bobby Witt. We understand how great he is, but Lindor is still a top 5 shortstop in baseball.
Yep.
So why would you want to get rid of those guys? It doesn't make sense to me.
He's gonna go down as like one of the most disrespected Mets 100%. Of all time because 100%. All anybody's done since he got here is bash him and hate on him because he did a thumbs down when he had a slow start to a season and Mets fans couldn't get the dollars of a contract out of their head. When we have an owner that has more money than God, that money doesn't matter.
You know what I mean? And the money should never, like, who gives a fuck? It's not our money.
Yeah,
it's not our money. If you think about how this guy has played over the 5 or 6 seasons he's been here, he's lived up to the contract. If I want to say that, right?
Oh, hell yeah. And I don't live in this fantasy world where we say that concession prices and ticket prices went up because they paid somebody a whole bunch of money.
Right.
No, it's because baseball is a hot commodity, and it's a luxury thing.
And we live in New York.
Those tickets are going up anyway.
Right. And we live in New York.
Yeah, we're paying for the real estate that they have. You know what I mean? Like, sure, maybe contracts affect ticket prices a little bit, but I mean, like, they're spending that money anyway. They're raising the prices on us anyway. Who cares if they give this guy a whole bunch of money? Like
newsflash, if we didn't have Soto and Lindor, the ticket prices will still be the same.
Yeah.
It'd still be the same.
Yeah, it's still, so no, I don't know. Nicole, I would almost respect if you walked away from the Mets if they traded Francisco Lindor.
Listen,
I couldn't.
I'm going to say it right now. I am with her. I have been a Met fan my entire life. Right? I bleed blue and orange. I bleed the Mets. They are the only team that disrupts my mood. There's no other team in my life that disrupts my mood. Maybe the Jets sometimes, but not as much as the Mets. If they were to trade Lindor, I'm not saying I would leave the team because Nicole's not saying that either, but taking a step back emotionally, yeah. It would take me a lot to not take a step back. I'd come back, but boy, I would need maybe a half a year to do so, maybe a full year. I'll be honest with you.
If I didn't, this is actually what I wanted to get to in my last final thoughts, but if I didn't emotionally disconnect from this team after 2007, I don't know if there's ever an instance where I could emotionally, like, it's all like, I love Francisco Lindor. Yeah. I love Jacob deGrom. I loved Jose Reyes. I've seen players come and go that I've loved before.
Mike Piazza in a Padres jersey.
I knew that, but I knew like towards the end of Piazza, I knew that was coming.
It doesn't. It's like Patrick Ewing in a Seattle.
Yeah, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Like, if they traded Lindor, I would be upset. I would be angry. But all in all, it's always about the name the name of the team on the front of the jersey before it's about whoever's on the name on the back of the jersey.
And see, and this is why I respect you, and I'm sure Nicole does as well. Is that your fandom is deep. I think we have similar fandoms. It's just that emotion. I love Lindor, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's like, I'm not gonna compare him to David Wright. But if they did not re-sign David Wright when he was a free agent, I'd have probably ripped up my all of my Met stuff because you don't lose a guy like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so yeah.
That's the thing with me is that there's certain guys that come along that embody what it is to be not only a Met but a New Yorker. Like, he came here and he had to learn that, this place is no joke. And you saw him every day, every month that went by, go through the growing pains of understanding the responsibility of where he is, right?
Yeah.
He grew so much from the first year he was here to the second year he was here because he realized, holy crap, like, I have to humble myself a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I came in here with this bravado. Nah, I can't have that. I have to be different. I have to grow up a little bit. And New York forced him to grow up. We've seen this guy grow up in front of us. Yeah. I don't want to get rid of a guy like that is as humble and understands the importance of wearing that uniform and having the de facto captain moniker on him. He understands that.
He's one of us.
That's why he's one of us.
He's one of us. He's like, we all have scars and have seen a lot of really bad Mets baseball. Francisco Lindor came here as this highly touted, massive free agent, and there were a lot of bumps in the road. He's been through a lot of good baseball. He's been through a lot of bad baseball. This man, like, he is the Mets. You know what I mean? Slow starts, good finishes, bad seasons, good seasons. Like, Francisco Lindor is the player embodiment of, I mean, he's probably a little better, of like the Mets. He is the Mets. You know what I mean? So, and Armand, you're right. He's got a full no trade clause and making way too much money. There's no way he's getting traded anyway.
Right.
I do want to say though, like I still have never forgiven the Mets for breaking David Wright's back and causing him to have to retire early. Like I may love the team, I still hold grudges. Like I still am mad at them.
What is your biggest? That's a good question here. Let's go ahead and go pop this in right now. I'll start with Tom. What is your biggest Met grudge that you will never forgive them for?
It's the one I just told you. I will never forgive them for not being able to put a team that consistently contend around David Wright, because he was just like, he was our guy. He was our cornerstone. He was the Met he was like the Met that I grew like through most of my like childhood and then young adult life. Like he was the guy. Like I still, like they lost that World Series in 2015. A tear will still come to my eye when I see him hit a home run in the World Series, because I was like, that man deserved the ring. That dude lived through some bullshit teams.
He was our Don Mattingly.
Had to live through some just bullshit seasons and didn't get that final send-off amazing moment with a winning baseball team and a ring on his finger. Like David Wright deserved the hell out of that, and that is the grudge I hold. That they broke David Wright's back. I couldn't do it.
What about you, Nicole?
It's not a particular like Mets grudge, but I just saw it like happen not that long ago. At the same moment when I'm like a little girl in spring training, Jose Reyes' final year, and I'm the next person to get an autograph from him. My dad told me up, and there's this man with the Yankees hat, and he gives it to him, and Jose's, no, Yankees hat for me. And I saw him, someone did the same exact thing not too long ago, and he did the same thing. Man just took off and ran away. And I was definitely, depressed. My little, probably 8-9 years old self, the next person to get an autograph from Jose Reyes on his final year, obviously didn't come back, went to Colorado. What was
Toronto?
Toronto. And then
it was Miami. It was Miami.
He went to Miami and then
Toronto.
Yeah. So I would say that moment definitely kind of sucked. Just also too for Jose himself. I'm like, why'd you leave? And then obviously came back, but I would say as a Mets fan, that one definitely. I just hate the Yankees fans, so just crutch on them.
I love that. I have one. Just the way you feel about David Wright, and I second all of that stuff. Man, do I feel the same way about Johan Santana.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yep.
This man gave his left arm for this franchise, and they gave him nothing. Wasted so many good years of a pitcher that was one of the best guys in baseball. That bothered me.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, after he hit that, he pitched that no, it was over for him. It was it. He gave his arm for us. Like, how come on now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that I'll never, ever forget. Never forget. And it burns me to this day. The other one is, and I've heard this rumor before, and I don't believe it's not true. I believe it's fucking real. We had a chance to sign Alex Rodriguez, and we didn't do it. We had a chance to trade for Alex Rodriguez, and we didn't do it. And Armand has a good one there. I'll never forget for not signing Vlad. Absolutely. Would you imagine Vlad in Queens? He'd have hit 60 home runs.
Oh, yeah, no, not signing Vladdy. Armand, that was a dead on one. Not signing Vladdy was a mistake. Abso-freaking-lutely. The Johan one hits home. Like, I loved Johan Santana. Johan
me too.
Santana was the Jake before Jake. Like, the dude would just constantly go out and put out dominant outing after dominant outing, and the offense would be a zero.
Garbage.
Like, absolute garbage. But no, I do The A-Rod thing, I think, was true, that they couldn't have traded for A-Rod. I think even A-Rod said that he would have, this is a little bit of revisionist history, but I think he said he would have taken less money to come sign with the Mets.
Because he grew up a Mets fan.
That's true. If that's the case, why didn't you do it? Did they just not offer him anything?
No, because I heard the story, and obviously it could be like folklore at this point, is that Steve Phillips, that was our GM at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like they concocted some bullshit story as to why they didn't offer A-Rod, and it was a lie. They just did not want to commit to the money that he was getting paid. That's all it was. They didn't want to absorb the money from Texas.
2000, A-Rod was still a shortstop at that point, right?
Yeah.
We'd have no Reyes.
Yeah, but
I think I'd have taken that.
We'd have A-Rod.
That's true. We would have had A-Rod.
I don't give a damn about Jose Reyes. Could go
true.
Wherever the hell he wants to go. We would have had the Teflon.
Learn second base. Learn second base.
Right, exactly. He would have came up as second baseman. He'd been fine right there.
Well, he wasn't good there. He was not a good second baseman.
He wasn't, but because he played shortstop. So I think if he would have came up as a second baseman, he would have been better. He would have been better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He would have had Reyes, Alex Rodriguez, and David Wright. Come on, man.
2006 would have looked like a different year.
God, Beltran, Delgado at first.
Well, I don't know if we would have. I don't know if they. I mean, if that would have been in 2000. Who knows if the Pedro and Beltran move happens later on?
They happen because if you got A-Rod, you're gonna break the bank to make sure you got a team going.
That's true.
You did it.
That's true.
There's a lot of stuff that we Armand says it. A-Rod asked for a billboard with his face on it in the office inside. Yeah, why not? Who cares? Do it.
Yeah, we gave that's the new ownership, obviously. We gave Soto a suite.
A-Rod and Piazza would have won a World Series. Absolutely.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah, they would have. They absolutely would have.
So again, this is a franchise that has given us pain.
Yeah.
Pain.
But that's the thing. Listen, I understand it's given us nothing but pain. But what keeps you alive and what keeps you going is all of this pain will be worth it when they win a title.
I don't want to be hit over the head with a 2x4 every year. I just don't.
Well, I mean, like, look,
I don't.
Look, maybe again, the Knicks have rejuvenated me. Like the Knicks went 50-something years without a title.
I still can't believe that.
Went most of my life being terrible.
Yeah.
Like
I am still in shock that the Knicks are NBA champions.
I barely remember the 90s Knicks. Like I barely remember them. I was a child in the 90s.
Yeah.
The Knicks figured it out. If the Knicks can, like if I was more of a basketball fan growing up than I ended up becoming, the Knicks would probably give me more scars than the Mets did.
That's very true. But here's the thing. Here's the difference between the Knicks and the Mets. And then we'll move on from this. Is that the comparisons between Dolan and Cohen are very similar, right? They're not the same person, but in regards to their lack of knowledge about the team that they own is pretty similar, right? Like you had Dolan go through many presidents because he trusted people to be able to figure out the basketball side of things, and they weren't the right people, right? Until he found the right person.
Yeah.
Right? Leon Rose was the right guy for the job.
Yeah.
David Stearns might not be the right guy for the job.
I totally agree with you.
And that's why we're in for the long haul. And even Cohen said that, hey, listen, I put that stupid ass timeline on myself in regards to winning a World Series. I didn't realize how hard it was. Like, this is going to take a little bit of self-reflection on his part to be able to get to a point where he can be able to get through the weeds and find the guy that can be able to build here the right way. And this just might not be the guy.
No, I agree. But I don't even necessarily think it's a one-to-one comparison. All I was saying is that all of the scars that the Mets have built up, when they win, because I do think it's going to happen. When they win, all of it doesn't matter and it all goes away. The Knicks were terrible forever. They finally broke through that glass ceiling, and all of that bullshit from the last 50 years doesn't matter.
No.
You know what I mean? Like all of these scars that we're accumulating because the Mets are terrible, the Mets are terrible, the Mets are terrible. Once they do win, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen in our lifetimes. I promise it will. None of this matters anymore.
Yeah.
None of this bullshit scars matters anymore.
Yeah.
Luis Castillo can rest.
I said, but don't bring that name up to me. Don't ever bring up Slappy to me. I can't stand Luis Castillo.
No, I agree.
I hate the fact that he was a Met. Him and Oliver Perez. Those two, they will forever be unclean to me. Like you had a Met jersey on. Those two? No.
I agree.
No. Final thoughts. Silent Assassin, what you got?
Just, since Lindor's been back, definitely seeing a few more wins. So maybe there'll be
He makes a difference.
Something to watch, like, and be excited for, just rather than seeing loss after loss after loss, just having some fun games.
Yeah.
Like, granted, like, they did lose last night, but that was just like a fun game to watch. Actually, see like the offense like run. They won tonight. They split with the Braves. Like they've been playing, a lot better baseball of late. So just I just want to see the season end with something fun to watch. So, they look like they're doing decently good. In the moment. Andy Green's definitely kind of been a better manager, just like move like AJ Ewing, moving him to lead off has definitely been very impactful for Ewing. He's had some home runs, in the number one spot, but I'm just excited to kind of see Lindor kind of be back and to the kind of team how the team plays with him back. So
yeah, well said, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, sell. Let's get to this deadline and just sell off whatever you can, retool the farm system, bring in whatever you can, just get money off the books, whatever you got to do. Send Mark Vientos wherever he's got to go. I'm more lukewarm on keeping Beatty as a bench guy, but no, just start selling off everything. And I want to ask you a question because you said something that this is going to go down as like the worst Mets team or the worst Mets season ever.
Yeah.
What's worse? This season or the 2017? 7-game lead with 17 games left. They lose 12 of their final 17 games, finish with an 88-74 record, and don't make the playoffs after going to the NLCS the year before. See, I think 2007's worse than this one.
I would say 07's worse.
Yeah.
That was.
I'm sorry to reopen that wound, everybody.
I don't like to use this because I don't like to play around. But sometimes when you go through a significant level of trauma, your brain tends to forget things.
I'm sorry.
And I've kind of shut that out of how intense that pain was in 07. It was so bad that when the final strike happened and the season was over, I didn't even have a reaction.
Yeah. I
was dead inside. Dead. Yeah. So thank you for opening up that wound, sir, because now I'm going to be dreaming about that season.
Oh, I mean, when
all of those memories are just going to start coming back in regards to how I actually felt in 07.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you start talking about worst.
Years old. Yeah.
You start talking about the worst teams in history. I'm immediately going to Google worst Mets teams in history, being like, man, is it really that bad? It is that bad. It is bad.
It's not 07 bad. It's not 07 bad. No.
There are more expectations then than I think this year.
Yes.
We were expecting a World Series in 2007. I was expecting to be lucky to make a wild card this year.
Thank you for the trauma. Thank you.
No problem. Hey, look, at least we're experiencing it all together.
I appreciate that.
This is turning into a support group.
Listen, I love it. I love it. You know what I mean? I have mine. And it's yesterday was a revelation for me because to see them get their ass kicked, but look around the stadium, and a lot of people left. It wasn't packed, but a lot of people had left at this time. and you see people way up there in the nosebleeds had their shirts off. There was a whole bunch of people with their shirts off partying, right? You had people that were there in the rain that were still there doing their scorebooks and their score sheets and, still getting up and getting food and still enjoying and high-fiving. The Met fandom is beautiful. It's something that I know every fan base goes through, but I can only speak for my own. And that's the essence of being a Mets fan, that no matter how much pain you're constantly going through or currently going through, you can still find joy. You can still be able to laugh through the pain. And we have battle scars. We have callus. We know what it's like to hurt, but we also know what it's like to party, even if we don't really experience it all the time. But those little glimpses, those little instances of fun and partying, man, we do it the best. And that's what I experienced in that ballpark yesterday. Pain and partying all in the same night. So that's why it's great to be a Mets fan. I'm not going to get out of here without sending somebody to Mars. You know that. Okay? And I hate to do this. I hate to do it because I saw it yesterday, right? And I was just like, oh, this is a nice story. But I'm sorry. Mr. Steeliger, whatever the hell your name is, you are on your one-way ticket to Mars, okay? The hometown kid, right? Grew up 20 minutes away from Citi Field or Shea, whatever the hell you want to call it. You can go back there now, right? They DFA'd you, and the fact, listen, I like Andy Green, but man, oh man, did they leave you out there to hang. That was bad. That was bad, man. It was one of those things like, oh, well, we blew all our pitchers last night. Go ahead, kid. Doesn't matter how many pitchers you throw, you're not going to come back here anyway. And I want to know if they even gave him that information, right? Listen, we know you're a hometown guy. We're going to throw you out there tonight. But just know, no matter how this ends, you're not going to be here tomorrow. So, just throw everything you got. And boy, did he go up there and throw everything he had. The problem was he didn't have much because the dude has a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. That was like a softball to the Royals yesterday. They were teeing off on this guy, and I felt bad for him. And the thing is, the fans wanted to root for this guy.
Yeah.
They wanted to root for this guy. Like, he got a nice ovation, and the first strike that he threw, because the first at-bat that he had, 4 straight pitches, walk, right? He was jacked up. He was nervous. They didn't really care about that. But then the first time that he hit a strike, man, the place blew up. They blew up because it's just like, yo, we're here to support you. And 50 pitches later, we're just like, oh, man, I've never seen an ERA of 108. I never seen it. That was amazing. So you've made history, Mr. Zoolander. I don't know what the hell your last name is. I'm calling you Zoolander. But you have to go to Mars. So this is your mission to Mars. We thank you for your services. You are a future colonist, and I appreciate you, but you got to go. Any last words for you two?
I like the new graphic.
It's pretty good. Shouts to my boy Chris. He did that. It was very funny. I had to take it.
So not Warren.
No. Warren has an excuse. He's hurt.
Okay.
Steeliger or whatever the hell his name is, he hurt. That's just
he just stinks.
He's a Rudy that didn't Rudy. All right. That's what happened. So sorry, but not sorry. Get the hell out of here. That is all for Queens Get the Money for this week. We will be back here next week as we always are, because we love to pod with each other. See, we love to pod with each other, and we also love to pod and interact with the people that are in here. So, as the community grows, we continue to ask people to keep coming in here, man. Keep giving us stuff to talk about. Keep challenging us. We love debates. We love to be wrong. We love to be proven wrong. Armand says he wants to be on next week, and hell, why not? We'll have Armand on next week. Let's go ahead and do this. So until next week, stay safe, stay cool. Peace.